Hello again, back with another update on the italeri Gotha 242/244 transport plane. As you can possibly see by the scattering of parts around the box, I've repainted, painted it really from the other day, repainted it from the other day into sort of darker contrasting greys over the body, and started doing a bit of the weathering of it before I put on the decals. As you can see, it's still all in parts. I've dry brushed the inside in a sort of dark greyish. Nicked a jerry can off of a from the spares box from a German tank model. Got our navigator figure in there and a scratch built instrument panel. I don't know what you can see in there. It's a nice black blob, I should think. Have it that way around. Little instrument panel in there and centre console. There wasn't much in there that would suggest actually flying a small aeroplane, or an actual aeroplane. It was all fitted out for the glider. So we've got that all. I looked around for sort of detail sets or masks. I couldn't really find any. Got the glass to go in here, which has got, because of the lack of mask, has got my hand brushing effect, which so far they haven't turned out too bad. And there's quite a lot of glazing. That one's an interesting one to paint. God, now the dog started. And of course this great big greenhouse of a cockpit canopy. I painted a lighter grey base and then went over it with a darker one to give a sort of inside outside effect. It's all quite well moulded, and I've added a lip to the just up there of plastic strip to locate this a bit better actually on the model, because it doesn't really have much to guide you in place. So by putting that there, it's a lot more stable when I come to glue the halves together. Like I said the other day, it's got quite nice moulded engines. These were two parts with an inner part to catch the propeller, but as I'm not going to spin the propellers, I didn't worry about the inner part and just glued them together, having the propellers sliding in at a later date. They're quite nicely moulded and they're contra rotating, so you've got to note which one's which, because they're not the same. The blades are actually going the opposite ways. Contra rotating propellers. I don't know whether that was a first. Muddied up the wheels a bit. They're quite nice mouldings, just two parts. Quite a nice spoke detail in the centre. Off into oblivion. Nice spoke detail. I found all italeri castings of this period were really good models. Really nicely detailed. Like I said, I've got a lot of glass to go in there, and then there's a few sprues of undercarriage parts and wing struts. And there's two options on the undercarriage, from the glider version to the powered version. These parts here are hinges for the rear doorway, hatchway, and they run in a slot that's moulded in there. Oh, quite, was it that side? Or a trough in there? Oh, there it is. Got that part. Pivots on there and up there. It runs in some form of trough. I haven't played about with them. On this side, I don't know if you can see that there, I've added from the same Panzer IV model. That was a tool tray off of there and the jack, and I thought, oh, well, I'll sling them in, there's something to sort of work against there. And then just dry brush them. Bit of wood colour on the handle and metal on the other tool heads and that. That's a nice, the Airfix moulding for the tools. On the engine cowlings, I sawed down in between each slat around there and thinned them out a little bit at the back because they're a bit thick, and that's made absolutely no difference really by the time they're sat on the engine. You don't really get to see much in there, but let's give it a little bit more depth. Because I'm sure they'll be totally operational when the real aeroplane and open. So give these a bit of a dry brushing. I quite like the contrasting greys. Do the decals, and they seem fine. I mean, even though they're quite old, they're cartographed in the first place. Very nicely printed. And for what I'm doing, I might as well just go ahead and use them. I won't be using the shark's mouths. Just go for this bottom option for this is the only powered version. I might bung them on for a laugh, but there's still so much glass around the front, it seems it's going to be more of a pain to glue that, you know, then cut round the glass, and it's worse on the other side because there's two glass panels, that one's glass too. So I don't think I'll bother on that. But overall, it's a really nice model. I'm really glad I bought it. The fit is excellent. The figures aren't too sharp, but and apart from a bit more like cockpit stuff, I think it's really good. And I did re-groove all the slat lines and that, scribed them out more, and sawed down through them, you know, down through the aileron, there, you know, give that the clearance on there. So that about wraps that up. I'll be gluing this lot together and doing the transfers. So the next thing should really be a finished article. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Something a bit different. Hey, bye. Best wishes from jolly old England.